If your house is like mine, there are lots of conversations about masks, how long we're going to be wearing them, and do we really want to wear the ones that we already have if we're going to be wearing them in a more prolonged setting, especially with the start of school in the fall. Lots of folks are wondering what that's going to look like. So we're so happy this morning to welcome Dr. Mary Clifton to the show. She's going to give us kind of the ABCs of how to choose the right mask, and I guess to begin with, Dr. Clifton, why they are such an important message to be reminded of the value of them.
Well, it's important to wear the masks because people can transmit infection even when they're not having symptoms. So there's the risk that somebody could be in the process of speaking to you, just shedding some of those infectious respiratory droplets. It has to do with droplets and it has to do with speed. So if somebody is just breathing, it is not a significant amount of droplets in a lot of cases. But if somebody starts to talk to you face to face, especially if they're not honoring that social distancing, or if somebody sneezes or coughs and then you walk through their cough cloud, a good sneeze can fill a room with enough respiratory droplets to get everybody sick in under 12 minutes. So it's very important to keep yourself protected from people who might not realize they're sick. And it's also important to protect others from you in case you're in that asymptomatic phase and you're not aware that you're about to make somebody sick.
I know that you want to very happily show us some examples of masks that are good to be looking for, but I do want to ask you real quickly, this is not Gotcha TV at all, but clarify for me if you can. Some people feel like wearing a mask and social distancing is a little bit redundant. If you're social distancing, do you need the mask? And the other question a lot of people have is if you're not exposed to someone for a long period of time, is the mask actually necessary?
Well, the social distancing is important, and in addition to the time, the amount of time, it all depends on how many of these little microscopic respiratory droplets are circulating. And you may perhaps be in a grocery store and not necessarily be 6 feet away from everybody around you and wearing a mask, but you don't know if somebody who just turned around the corner sneezed in that area, and then there's still quite a bit of contagion hanging around in the air. So the best thing to do is to just stay home and not give yourself any risk of exposure. But when you're venturing out, you can start with just a single layer, like a scarf. Just a single layer of cotton is better than nothing. But the studies would really argue, the studies done by the American Chemical Society, just published this year in their magazine Nano, they're recommending that you use 3 layers of tightly woven fabric. And then if the fabrics can be specifically treated so that there's additional potential antiviral and antibacterial qualities, that's even better. And then that just allows you to avoid getting any of those respiratory droplets into your own face holes, into your nose and mouth. I mean, I agree these masks are not easy to wear. I've been wearing face coverings for over 20 years in my practice. It never gets easy to have a face covering on. It always feels strange, but it's an important thing to find a breathable, talkable covering that you can use easily and keep yourself and others protected.
So I think that you have one that you're going to kind of talk about. The product is called Boomer Naturals. Is that, by the very name of it, it sounds like it would be pretty breathable.
Well, the company's name is Boomer Naturals. Yeah, and this is the mask I wanted to show you. It has 3 layers of cozy fabric. The inner layer is a comfy cotton that has nano silver infused right into the fabric, functioning as a natural antibacterial and antiviral. And then the outer layer is a polycotton layer, so it helps to keep moisture away from the fabric. And that also helps because when you wear them for a prolonged period of time and they get humid from your breathing, then there are some studies that show that you can find viral particles. You can actually swab the inside of the mask. They will track through the mask. That's why it's important to have 3 layers to your covering rather than just 1 or even 2. 3 has been shown to be superior. But the best way to use it is to just put the ear loop over one ear and then cover your mouth and nose and then put the ear loop over the other ear and just make sure that it fits snugly. There's all these areas where it could gap and potentially allow air to whoosh in and not be filtered. So I always like to look in the mirror and take a deep breath. And you can see how this one is bringing the air right through the fabric, and that's protecting me from any of the air that's whooshing through the side. And it also protects me from touching my face holes when I'm out doing things, and that will keep me from spreading any of those viral particles that might be on my hands.
So I want to let people know we have less than a minute left. I believe that there's a promo code that we can show our viewers. It's WRCB20. And that allows them to get 20% off. If they go to boomernaturals.com, don't you also have on the website some tips of how to care for your mask once you purchase them?
Yeah, there's a lot of commentary going around about different ways to care for it. The best thing to do is just wash it with warm, soapy water. The detergent in the soap will break up the viral walls and help it to and help to just kill the virus immediately.
Dr. Clifton, thank you so very much. I'm sorry we're out of time, but thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome.